Welcome, warriors, for another episode of the Wellness Warrior podcast. I am so excited for my guest here today, and I'm very excited because we're going to also learn simultaneously. Yes, I will be uncovering and exploring right alongside of you. And we're going to be going through my results in regards to heart coherence. So I'm excited to bring you Meghan. She is a brilliant wellness warrior who impacts this portal in so many positive ways. She brings so much light and wisdom. And when I had the opportunity at the Sunshine Retreat here recently, that our sweet friend Allie Long hosts annually, and while there, I got to experience a taste of her work. And also, when I got my results back, said, let's explore what this means and share with other warriors, as she was expressing some of what this alludes to. So Meghan, without further ado, I would love for you to introduce yourself to our beautiful collective so they can come to know you.
Lindsaya, thank you so much for just having me here today. And I love when you talk about impacting this portal. That just really speaks to my heart and soul. So thank you for having me today. My name is Meghan Stimmel. I'm a holistic psychotherapist, and I do energetic alignment consulting. And what that means is there's 4 different aspects of ourselves: the mind, the heart, the body, and the spirit. And in psychotherapy, we're really focused on the mind, right? Like it's cognitive reframing and mindfulness strategies and how do we create positive thoughts and all these things. But when I take people through the journey of self-discovery and healing, I really like to help them open up to the way their body talks to them and how it's signaling to them and where it is storing different energies and traumas and things like that. And really opening them up to their connection to spirit and opening up their hearts. So it's really comprehensive and integrative, and I love it all so much. So
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you touched on the heart, and as someone who everything I do is centered really on the vibration and the energetic projection of love, because that is of the highest energetic, experience, one of the highest emotions. And so for me, when I think of moving in the world in a way that evokes more love for myself, so I have more love for everyone else, love for, others who may feel different upon reciprocating an emotion to me. And when you talk about, bringing it in, so, those 4 elements to the human spirit, and heart coherence is really what I sat down to do with you. So will you tell people and teach them what this measurement and test that we engaged in, what is it? What does it measure? What is its purpose?
Yeah, so the HeartMath technology is this really cool device that I hooked right up to your earlobe. And I kind of just took you through different components of your life, right? There was like a relationship component. There was a relationship with yourself component. There was, how do you feel about your work life in this moment? And it measures in that time period the way that your heart and your mind, your brain, right? Brain and heart coherence, the way that it is either balanced or not balanced. Are you in coherence or are you not? Which is really just balance and synergy, right? Like, is it working together or not? And it's really cool to be able to see once you get the actual reading. It just comes up on an app. It's correct. It's connected right to the app, and you get to see where you went in high coherence and where you dipped in low. And the really cool thing about yours, Lindsaya, and the only time that I think I've ever seen this, including my own readings with myself, is that you had 0 low coherence. 0% of the time you were in low coherence. And if I'm pulling up the reading right now,
which we'll also we'll put a picture on social so people can see what you're referencing, because you're looking at a graph you've also provided with me. So when people get this test through you, they're also able to see this graph that you're referencing. Okay.
Yes. And it's really neat because, I'm somebody who's really rooted in spirit. So a lot of times I'm like dancing in the clouds and like everything is like really beautiful and makes sense. But there's so many people that need to see numbers and the science and the data to allow it to concretely come into form for them in their reality. So this is really good for, that group of people that learns that way and sees that way. But yeah, it brings up the graph. It shows you, and you can actually use this, throughout months, weeks, years, and see how you've grown and how you've evolved and how you've shifted, which was great awareness for you to see that you were 65% in high coherence, which is the highest that I had the whole entire day. I was like, wow, it was so cool.
Okay, so I know you said how I had zero low coherence, which was very exciting to me because I know what's happening in my life and in the ether and in those moments that we were together. And so, I have wondered if the consistent practice of the way that I intentionally move and the way I intentionally speak and the body of work that I share with the world, like, does it make a difference in regards to even when things are shitty? Like, I know I have the deepest knowing that, like, that it isn't the end, and it could, there isn't this like feeling, even when I, like, at my darkest moment, when I want to say it, there's always this light within me. And it wasn't always that way. So I know it's different because you're talking to someone who was formerly has considered everything from ending my life, like having suicidal ideation and thought and real depression and being diagnosed by a doctor and prescribed medicine for anxiety and depression. So I have clarity I speak from the space of having clarity of how I have once felt versus how I move through even my hardest moments today. So when you said, "Oh my gosh, you didn't hit zero any low coherence," so when someone thinks about that, what helps us have better coherence? If someone's like, "Well, she didn't hit any low," like, why would that be? Because some people are like, "What does coherence even mean?"
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I got goosebumps as you were speaking. It's just so powerful. It's so powerful and beautiful. And, the work that we get to do in the world, especially now, because I've been at a similar place as how you described in the past. And if I can think back to, the work that I do with my clients and really trying to figure out what brings you into coherence? When I drop into that question, I think it's living in alignment with who you are. And that's the first thing that comes to mind. And the way we get there is by releasing all of the ways and the patterns and the beliefs that we had that taught us to be someone that we aren't. Right? Sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
right?
sipping that in because at this whole time waiting, anticipatory, like, excitement about how we would discuss in a deeper dive. I myself, even Joe Dispenza, like, helped me with divine coherence, like understanding and cycling and bringing in the power of my breath and visualization, like how that his body of work, I would say, was such an enormous catalyst for me and a huge aspect of healing. And yet, when I saw that I had zero low coherence, I was like, how I still had this part of my brain that was like, how, when I have these other emotions going on, and you filled into me. So, warriors, please hear this with clarity. It isn't the emotion you're having, it is living in alignment and integrity. Like, you can feel anything and have complete coherence when you know who you are, you honor who you are, and you give yourself permission to be all of it, even when it feels like shit. That is the proof that you have given me that's expanded upon what we walked through the day I took this test. So I hope everyone hears that from you.
That was so powerful. I'm just, again, over here with full body chills, Lindsay. The work that you do in the world is, and I feel like I'm just going to say it, is so in alignment with your purpose. Like, I feel that so strongly. Like, what you do in the world, you're so fiercely passionate about it. It emulates from your aura and your existence, and I feel it in my heart. So thank you for just sharing, your gifts and your unique medicine with the world. It's such a testament to what we walk through, and even if it's really, really hard and it feels like the end of the world sometimes, but it all prepared you for the work that you're doing now. And I just see you and I honor you, and I'm just Yeah, I'm so grateful to be on this life journey with you, Lindsaya.
Oh, sister, mirrored, ditto, all of the things, and full receiving. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing me. Okay, so HeartMath, I want to continue helping people because now there's this belief, like we get to step away from the idea that we have to always feel exceptional and great and amazing. Rather, we get to live in the full circle of the emotions and can be in divine coherence and alignment the entire time. So, with once we have this heart map measurement, what are some things that, tangible things I love to give? I always say I hope that when people spend an episode with us that they walk away with things they could apply immediately and amplify the wellness warrior within. So here we've got heart coherence. We now know that even if I'm feeling super crappy, I still can be in coherence in my energy because I know who I am. I know that I'm here on purpose, with purpose, on purpose, like all the things. What are some things I can start to enact if maybe my test dips low when I experience it? Or if I have a lot of low coherence at the moment, how can I heighten it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there's obviously a few things that you can do. The awareness of having the map, right? After you get the reading, the importance of actually having the map and the awareness to be able to say, okay, this is the area that I'm really struggling in and I'm not feeling in balance with. This is the part that needs attention. So just having the awareness is number one. You're already creating change by just knowing that. But I think second, your heart is more powerful actually than your mind, than your brain. The electromagnetic component of your heart and the signal that it creates is so much more stronger than your brain, and people don't know that. So a great exercise and it's so easy to just be mindful about when you are responding to a situation that feels like, oh my God, I have so much emotion about this. I have so much anxiety. Everything's flooding through my body, is to obviously, take some time and do some deep breathing because that'll bring you back to your center and create space, right? You need to create space. And then after that, ask yourself, am I responding from my heart or from my ego? Because the ego is your mind protecting yourself. So a lot of times when we're getting angry and defensive and like put up those walls, that's your protective ego. That's not your heart. So when we actually are responding from this place, from our heart center, maybe it's a response like, you know what? I want to get really angry right now, but what I'm feeling is so much grief about what's happening. And I just want to share from an open space. It doesn't have to be just like that. But do you see how it's different? I'm actually feeling grief. And the anger and defensiveness is just that protective wall that's in front of the grief, right? We're being honest with each other. We're being vulnerable with each other. We're actually allowing our heart to open and create connection instead of putting up the wall. So I love to implement and help people integrate those two things into just a quick response. It makes a lot of difference.
I listen, of course, we already knew we were sisters and the alignment is so divine. I love the question, am I responding from my heart or my ego? Ooh, that will likely be a post around this episode because it gives us such a beautiful opportunity to have reflection and the power of breath. Like I would say it is my outside of body, other like biggest obsession. And what I mean by that is my breath in my own body is one of my biggest obsessions. I take it, it means so much to me, especially having been asthmatic and hospitalized and asthma attacks. Like my walk with, and my trauma around breath was real. And it's also always been a place where I've loved to play. I loved, even as a kid, to be the one to hold the breath the longest, to swim under the water the longest without taking a breath. Like these things, to play mermaid, drink the tea, at the bottom of the pool and be the last one to leave. Like this, it's always been a place of play and discovery for me as well. And as I grew and learned through respiratory specialists and then into with anxiety and depression, having the practitioners teach me about the power of my breath, and then moving into being a competitive athlete and learning about how breath catapults that. And so I want to come back because you said awareness, knowing that our heart is more powerful, breathing and clearing up that space and being vulnerable. And I want to invite every warrior to know that you require zero learning in this capacity. Everything you learn about breath is an and kind of thing. Like it's a plus sign, because we come out and our first gift is breathing. And our very final gift going out is our breath. It is the foundation of everything. And I truly believe that we have forgotten the power of coming to our breath. And so that for me, when you talk about coherence, what I didn't share with you that day and what I do all of the time regularly, so many times throughout the day, now I couldn't count. When you said, okay, it's time for you, and I was at the table, I paused for a second and I shook it out and I breathed low and slow through my breath. And I came back and I started seeing my center body with complete lightness. And then I sat down and you put the thing to my ear. And I do that regularly. And I believe everyone could do that here. Yes. In fact, I dropped warriors off at a breathwork circle that was happening at Barefoot this past weekend, right? I encourage everyone to go experience breath in lots of capacities. And you can do it in the privacy of your own home while you're listening to this episode simply, and it will create coherence. And I think that was the greatest tool you gave. And so I know I poured a whole lot of juice on it. And so I would love for you to share anything with warriors, because breath to me is what came through. Like the fact we're talking about heart coherence and breath, they are the peanut butter and jelly sandwich as an analogy. They go together perfectly. And if you don't like those two, think of two things that go together. I know perfectly. And that is like, and so if there is anything else in this heart coherence coming into ourselves, loving ourselves, that you want to sprinkle into our wellness warrior community, I'd love to pass it over to you to amplify.
Yeah, the breath is so powerful. And it does, like you said, just taking that one breath before the couple breaths before we started, it does bring you back to your center. And it reminds you that there's nothing else that exists other than the present moment. So there's no worries, there's no feeling shame or guilt about the past. I think so much of the journey in the heart that I see is forgiveness and trust back in yourself, really trusting yourself that you do know the way as you really jump into maybe a new chapter of your life, or, you're on a journey of self-discovery and clearing out the masks that you used to present to the world. And when we think about the breath and the air that we breathe, it's always there. We actually don't need to create air. It's just there. And we know that it's always there. Every breath that we take for our entire lives, it's abundant around us and it shows up for us in every single moment. So if we can remember that trust and that abundance is always there and that love is always there, we don't need to create it. And we don't need to do anything to make it available. Like, it's here right now in this moment. And the breath reminds us of that trust and that love and the abundance. So it's so powerful.
Oh, I hope everyone sips that in. I love breath. And I will say the modeling it gives us of abundance. I have never looked at it in that lens. Oh, friends, warriors, and the trust, the ability to rely on it infinitely, like always having our back. Wow. Sounds like a God sort of thing to me. Whew. Amazing.
Whatever your goosebumps again.
Whatever your belief may be, for me, that is a God thing. And so thank you so deeply. Okay, so if people want to work with you, because obviously it was cute. I got to sit across from you in human form with this thing on my ear, and we're in this virtual landscape where there are people both far and near. So how can people follow up with you? What's the best way for them to connect? And we'll put everything in the show notes so we can also see that. what are your favorite ways for people to reach out, or what would you like to ensure warriors know in the event they're looking for some love from you?
Well, we will definitely post it, in the notes, and I'll have all the contact information there. But what I really love is, I'm a busy mom. I know you are too. And so I really love to create packages for people that work for them. So whether it's a combination of in person and virtual, I even throw in some Boxer days where we're just audio chatting. It really depends on what works best for you. There's no one size fits all, right? We know that we are all different and we all have different lives. And I just really love to give people something that feels like a gift for themselves. This feels like a gift for you to be able to create synergy and balance in your life, in your human, in your existence on this planet right now. And to give that gift not only to you, but it extends to every single thing you touch, your children, your spouse, your partner, the work that you do. And the more you come into this feeling so free to be who you are and do God's work, creator's work, whatever you believe in the world, to be able to feel so in alignment with that and so held and trusted and provided for. And that's the coherence, right? That's the coherence. So my Instagram handle is I am MK And then my email address is mkstimmel. It's stimmel@gmail.com. But we'll post everything. So super grateful, Lindsaya. This was such a great conversation, and you're just so beautiful in the way that you speak and how it just rolls off in this portal that you've created. So.
Oh, well, thank you again for your time and the honoring. And I'm going to leave you, myself, and all the warriors that are listening. We are never busy. We have full lives and we get to choose all the things. And so we have these full lives of joy and every other emotion. And what I love about sitting with you today is that it's a reminder that amongst every single one of those, we can have coherence. So I appreciate you. And warriors, stay tuned. You will get all the details in the show notes. And we've got lots of other stuff coming too. So make sure you get your walking shoes on, because that's what we are doing, and it is open to you. It is a free app interface. We have over 120 walking warriors, and we've got over 65 or 70 that are tapping in every single day. We'd love for you to be one of those warriors. You set your goal. You walk however, whenever, every single day, and you get to be part of an accountability group and a leaderboard. It's a ton of fun. We've got some new swag. So yes, if you know, also, I did have an experience with skin cancer on my nose. So I have a hat that says Walking Warriors to protect your face because you also know this girl stays away from the sunscreen. So I'm protecting my face with the bill of the hat. We also have a t-shirt in lots of fun colors. Some of you have already copped that because you are part of this incredible movement. And so we want to invite you. And again, come in. We also have a couple new things coming up in the fall. We're starting our new book for our collective book club. We are starting a collective Bible read for those of you that would like to dive into that specific book, whether you are a deep believer, someone who's read it a million times, or it's brand new to you like it's brand new to me. Come join us. These are just a few. And I don't like to say these are a few of the many magnificent things. 2 live experiences yet to go this month. More coming on the calendar soon. And so with that, warriors, we hope to hear, hold, see, and hug you soon. Again, Meghan, thank you so much. Infinite love to you. And warriors, keep shining, keep amplifying, and keep loving on the wholehearted you. You're worth it. All right, let's go get it.